In this video, I'm going to answer a question that new raw feeders ask all the time, and that is whether or not you should buy a stand-up freezer or a chest freezer for your raw feeding. Let's get started. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I am Scott the Dog Dad from DogDadOfficial.com, and if this is your first time here, please click the subscribe button below as well as that little bell notification icon so that you get notified about future raw feeding videos. And really quickly, if you could take a moment to let me know if you're currently feeding raw or getting started, do you use a stand-up or a chest freezer, or do you plan on using one or the other? Let me know below. Okay, now this is something that's not necessarily cut and dry, there is a right or wrong answer, but there are 4 things that I think that you should consider when you decide on a stand-up or a chest freezer. Number 1, cost. And it's not what you think. Personally, I don't think the cost is a factor. It really isn't. If you're willing to put in a little time and a little effort and do some digging, you can get either or with equal, cubic, square inches, foot, whatever, however they measure them, I don't even remember. But you can get an equal size stand-up freezer and equal size chest freezer for the same amount of money if you are willing to look. So again, I don't think the cost is a factor. For example, our full-size stand-up freezer cost us $30. We got it online, used, and that was it. Number 2, space. Which do you have more of? Height space or width space? And what I mean by that is that if you have 2 freezers of identical space, a stand-up and a chest freezer, in theory, and in practice really, you're going to be taking up the exact same amount of space. But which do you have more of? Do you want to use that space and take up that space vertically with a stand-up freezer, or do you want to take up space with the width that's going to come with a chest freezer? Basically looking at your environment, where you're wanting to put it, and what's going to work out better for you. If you only have 4 feet, wide, as an example, to put a freezer in, a chest may not be your best option if you're looking to hold any significant amount of food. On the other hand, if you have a very small space as far as maybe out in the garage and you don't have a whole lot of height, depending on where it is in the garage, then maybe the chest freezer is going to work out better for you. Number 3, organization. In this one, I do think that the stand-up freezer takes the win. And the reason that I say this is that it's a lot easier, in my personal opinion. There's lots of things that you can do with chest freezers to make it better. But in my opinion, these stand-up freezers are so much better as far as organization goes because everything is right in front of you. Whether it's in the door, in the main part of the freezer, everything is right there. It's so much easier and simpler to organize and see exactly what is in there. Number 4, ease of access. Now this is going to be huge if you have any kind of issues like lower back pain, shoulder pain, anything like that. The reason for that is that if you're going to be using a chest freezer, you're going to be doing a lot of bending over, a lot of picking stuff up and moving stuff over to get to other things. It's going to be a lot harder on you if you have those kinds of issues. Those kinds of issues don't exist really with a stand-up freezer. Yes, you may have to move something every now and then, but you're not going to have to dig stuff out of a chest freezer to get to maybe what it was that you needed that's at the bottom. Maybe you needed to get some more bone content or liver content, and the only place that you have some is at the very bottom of the freezer. You have to take everything out. That is why we went with the stand-up freezer. Now, to wrap up here, it may seem like I'm partial to the stand-up freezer, which I am for my personal situation. However, the chest freezers can be great, especially for longer term storage. Maybe it's going to be out in your garage and you're only going to get into it once or twice a year, and it's going to be somewhere, if you get a random haul of free food, you're just going to throw it in there and come back to it for, maybe a skimp time when you don't have a lot of food around. In the end, it comes down to your personal decision. What's going to work out best for you? Again, cost isn't going to be a factor. If you have equal sized freezers, they're going to take up the exact same amount of space. So do you want to take up that space with width or with height? In my opinion, the stand-up freezer does win with organization. And once again, the stand-up freezer, in my opinion, wins with ease of access. However, you may feel very differently. So Think on these 4 considerations, look at your situation, look at the space that you have, and choose what's best for you. And if you want to learn more about or even get started with raw feeding, check out my free 7 simple steps to raw feeding and other raw feeding resources in the description below. But most importantly, remember that you don't have to be perfect to be an amazing dog owner. You just have to do your best every day and try to improve as you go forward. Peace.